live, and we are live on the Egg Pod after many trials and tribulations this evening. Many pushing of the go button on speedtest.net to find out what the actual is going on in terms of the internet being provided to myself this evening. But we're here, we're live, we're doing things. We got Ty, we got Ken, all the way from the Cape Towns. Welcome, peeps.
Thank you.
I see you both splashing out in the Comic-Con Cape Town t-shirts.
Of course.
Look at that. Look at that. So, I mean, just for everybody else out there, very quickly, we need to do the proper things, because obviously there are proper things that need to be done properly. And one of those proper things is to shout out our amazing Patreons, or patrons. I always get that wrong. I know that it's like the thing is called Patreon, but the people who do the things are patrons.
Patrons.
Right? And so
Call them Patreonians.
They're Patreonians.
There we go. Sounds much better.
We just
Sounds
made
more formal.
a whole new type of
Patreonians.
people. You are the Patreonians. I will maybe register later. And to our Patreonians, Zoe and Ken and Yola and Ricardo and Niels and Christoph and Robert and Christopher and Kylothian and Fist of Sons and Manfred and Stefan. Y'all all Eggy's knees. Because our Eggies have knees. Because without them we couldn't do a lot of cool stuff. But having said that, the Black Parade 95 is in chat. Welcome, and yes, you know us. Although today we're talking D&D, not so much Magic the Gathering. Although we will touch on some Magic the Gathering stuff as we go.
I'm right over there.
But just a quick word to people out there from last week's episode. You know who you are, you peoples who won stuff in our great big Give You Stuff episode. We are hopefully sending all that stuff out this week. There's been a little bit of delay in funds for the courier, people. But that should be resolved very soon, and we'll be sending all those prizes out this week, hopefully. Even one as far afield as Canada.
Huzzah!
But that's like a once off, and it was my bad because I didn't say that only people from here could win. But I corrected myself afterwards. So just moving forward into tonight's show, we do have 2 giveaways this evening, but they are only for local peeps. Okay? If you're in the RS of A, as in the Republic of South Africa, you may enter and win, and we'll send you your stuff. If you're not, I'm sorry. Ne? But that's just how things roll. But hey guys, how's everyone doing? Says Chimeria 6. We're okay. I think we're all right. We're right now that we're live and doing stuff. That's a good thing.
Finally.
But just to give you some background as to where this particular episode came from. So 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Was it a week ago? It was a week ago.
It was 3 weeks ago, actually.
It was 2 weeks ago. It wasn't 3 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we
You're right, sorry.
were asked as EGG by our good friends at Comic-Con Africa to help them put on a couple of events for their Comic-Con Cape Town pop-ups, which they were doing on the weekend of the 2nd of October. Do we stand a better chance to win if we're in the mother city, says Black Parade? Well, that's dependent on... Okay, they're nodding, so maybe. I'm going to just maybe...
Well, if you're not here, you can't win.
Thank you.
Logically, he is correct. You have a better chance of winning if you are in the area that you have to be to win.
There you go. So you have a better chance of winning because you're in the mother city, yes.
Woo.
The fact that that's in South Africa is neither here nor there. But anyway, so we got asked to host a couple of events for Comic-Con Cape Town, and those events were a Pioneer Magic the Gathering event, and the other event was a D&D event where we were going to invite people to come and sit down and play with some DMs and just mess around for the day, which we thought was going to be fun. So Ken, who recently moved down to Somerset West and is now our agent in the Western Cape, was down there, and we said to her, we knew she had a thing about D&D as well as Magic, and we said, would you be keen on hosting the D&D events, and I'll take care of the Magic event. And so between the two of us, we got all this all sorted out, and we chatted to Renee from Comic-Con, and it all got worked out, and so we ended up in Cape Town for the 2nd of October. And the Pioneer event for Magic was very cool. It was pretty well attended. We had 10 players. We had a really nice field of people playing, and with some nice prize money up for grabs from Comic-Con. The guys, I think the first place guys won $1,000, which is pretty cool. And then 600 and 400 or something, I think, was the split down. But it was well done, and what was cool about it was that it was kind of no mess, no fuss, and it was over and done, and guys were out the door or sticking around to play Commander or whatever, at a really cool venue called Kind Regards. in Cape Town in Dunkley Square. But what really blew my mind was the enthusiasm and the amazing turnout for the D&D event. I honestly didn't expect what we got. And I mean, I remember when it started out, I think the week before, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, but the week before the event, we'd sold like 5 tickets.
Yeah, I think for a little bit we were neck and neck with the Magic tournament, and I was a bit nervous about not having a big enough turnout to have 2 extra DMs, because we'd already arranged for both Ty and Mark to be there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I need to do something, and yeah, the D&D gods pulled through.
And just to show you guys, I mean, those of you who are watching for a second, unfortunately, Ken and Ty, you're not going to be able to see this, but just something for people watching to have a look at. In fact, if I remember correctly, Ken, at one point we had people waiting to play in sessions.
Yeah, people were in line. It was really, really cool.
I mean, Ty, how many sessions did you end up doing?
I ended up doing 2 sessions because the first session they had to leave, and the second session they stayed for second and third. They stayed for the second and third. They stayed over. Yeah, so it was my primary
you did
table
3
of 5.
sessions.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, technically I did 3 sessions. I did 2 sessions in the sense of with my players.
Yeah.
But that's why I counted as 2. But yeah, so we all did 3 sessions. It's just that I had the joy of having my second set of 5 play through the entire
session
day.
2 and 3.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And Ken, same for you. Do you have the same sort of overlap, or did you have 3 different groups?
Similar. My first group had to go. They attended one of the I think it was the drink and draw event. And then I had a second group, but then my first group, all 5 of them came back, and then we played a complete second.
Okay, so hold on, just to put a pin in that for just 1 second, Ken, you had a great time because you got to play one of your favorite adventures the whole day. Tell us a little bit about that.
Tomb of Annihilation. So it's set in Chult, which is like a little island off the Sword Coast, and basically, it's permadeath in a campaign because there's this like curse that somebody's stealing everybody's life source and everybody who's been magically regenerated. So it's like permadeath, and that's like a video game to me. It's one and done, and it's awesome. Cool. I love Tomb of Annihilation.
And I mean, Ty, to be honest, I sort of popped out every now and then, and Yola and the kids were there as well. And I remember Yola coming to me at one point going, "Ty's having far too much fun." Tell us a little bit about the adventures you got. You set out for your would-be adventure.
Well, my thing was based off of I sort of divided it to be able to facilitate whether I had 3 separate people, 3 separate groups, or 1 main group, and it was divided into 3. It was a bit of a homebrew I made.
Okay.
Which is very basically town of Isildur every couple of years would have sort of a competition-based situation in sort of a tournament-type style in the town to hire mercenaries to scale the mountain of the Lich King to try and stop the evil that is befouling the land. And they called it the Lich King because they assumed it was the Lich King. They didn't actually know. They just called it the mountain of the Lich King because I think that sounded more eerie. And in my first session, which was great, I was there. I knew they were only there for 1 session, so the mean side of my DM was I wanted to try and see how many of them I could kill. And I came close. And then one of my friends who was actually attending gave a great idea to one of the youngsters who was there to somehow beat my nice big elven boss who was in golden armor by melting it.
Ooh.
Onto him.
Wow.
I was very upset and proud at the same time. But the main group I had was quite enjoyable because I made sure the mountain wasn't just, I didn't want to make it the everyday just go up, fight people, fight some goblins, attack, scale the mountain. I made them challenges. I made them do things to actually figure out how to get around some scary things. My most proud one is that they had to get around copies of themselves along the mountain, which was great. They had to get past copies of themselves, and they figured out very quickly that they had to fight each other's copies to actually get through, which is great. But the joy was the one lady, they figured it out within like 3 minutes, and I was like, yes. And then someone said something else, and she stepped back. So they were going this way, and they were going the right way, and they went, let's go that way. And then they went that way, and then about half an hour later, they was like, oh, let's go back to the main idea, and they went past. So that was quite enjoyable.
You can't trust players, you know what I mean? You just can't trust them at all, ever. They'll wreck your life. But I mean, for me, the crazy thing was, so we finished the Magic event finished at about, 12ish, just after 12, I think. Maybe close to 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. I came downstairs from upstairs where we'd been hosting the Magic event, and you guys were all in full swing. And we said, okay, well, it was my boy's birthday. We'd take him out to Cape Town for the first time he hasn't been there. We'd go show him around a little bit, etc., etc. So we went and did that. And then we came back at about 5-ish, 6-ish, somewhere around there in the evening. And you guys were still going. I was just like, what is happening here? There's like, and not just still going, the enthusiasm and the fun that was being had. I mean, the laughter we were hearing from the different tables, and just the excitement and the energy that was around those tables really blew me away. I was really impressed with all of that. And I have to ask you guys, I mean, Ken, I don't know what your experience is and how long you've been down in the Cape. I know you've just recently moved down to Somerset West, but maybe Ty, you can pick this up and just answer the question. We've got someone in chat saying, we paint minis, says we need more D&D exposure. And I think that that's absolutely true, because I had no idea that there was a thriving D&D scene in Cape Town. And Ty, you need to tell me if that's correct or not. Is there a thriving D&D scene in Cape Town? Is there a community of D&D happening that we don't know about?
From what I've found, is that there's not so much community in the sense of this outspread wide community of like battle bunker type vibe places where there's D&D being held and things like that. What I found is there's lots of individual pods of people and groups that are playing together.
Okay.
Like as with most, a couple of friends playing together. But what we've started doing now, actually here in Somerset West, is I've been doing it for quite a few months now, and I've actually now recently taken over the RPG sort of side of things in the Somerset West area at one of the places at the Warren. What I've been trying to do for the last good 6 months is been trying to run every week and every second Saturday is run one shots at there. And actually run more than just D&D, run multiple different things like Conan, Cyberpunk, Cthulhu, and all that sort of things.
Sure.
But also obviously focus on D&D to try and get people involved. And what I've found, the sort of sad but also happy thing, because it's actually a very easy fix, is so many people started coming to play because they were just unsure or like shy to come and play. And the problem is, because there's so many established groups already, for someone who's never played before, there wasn't really a way or access to come and try out a game for once. It's all these established groups of people, and it's very daunting to go into a group of 5 players that have been playing a campaign for 3 months, and you've never played in your life before, to come and join.
Sure.
And even if the DM and the players are all going like, yeah, sure, come, it's a daunting experience. And the second thing that I found as an issue is a misconception about D&D, and I found this by chatting to a lot of people that came to the one-shots. And I spoke to them afterwards, and they all had this misconception that D&D was this heavy mathematical memorization thing. Like they said, they were worried that to come in and they were going to... Yeah, exactly. 3.5 vibes. But also I found out, and I know a couple of people had been told by friends of theirs who played D&D once or twice, and obviously are not telling the correct things, is saying that they were told that they need to make sure that they've memorized the rules of the player's handbook, that they come with like good maths, because there's lots of maths that has to be done in the game, and you have to know the rules.
Who are these interlopers? We must squash them.
I know. And they come, and I sort of, after they played with me and my one-shots, they were like, this was great. This was so easy. And I was like, well, why wouldn't it be? And then they told me this. So that's what I've sort of found seems to be the primary issue, is that one, there wasn't really an area or scene where people could just come and try it out for the first time, just without any pressure. and 2, that there's a bit of a misconception about it as this really difficult, complicated game.
See, I mean, I hear that, and I can understand that maybe somebody said that to them, but to be honest, and this goes back to my red box. I mean, I started playing D&D back when I bought the red box, which had the basic rules and the basic Dungeon Master's Guide in it and some dice. And the basic rules said, players do this, the DM does this, and generally makes everything up as he goes along. You know? And so that's kind of how I've sort of winged it my way through my DMing career. And I think that the most important part about D&D is to understand that it is entirely up to your imagination. The DM is a facilitator to your adventure as a player. All the DM does, he or she sits down and says, this is the world in which events are taking place. How you interact with that world is totally up to you. It's my job as the DM to make that exciting for you and to have the results that come from what you do. It's not my job to say to you, know your math, because if you don't work out this roll exactly correctly, you will lose a leg. You know, I mean, that's not how it is.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, we have Lioness of the Vale says, I had a party of 5 looking for a goat for almost 2 hours while DMing on Saturday night. This must have been a very important goat. Was it an actual goat or the greatest of all time? The Black Parade says, looking forward to our own little group on Wednesday. Fantastic. I'm a converted nerd. It's a great world. Yes, it is. It is a great world. And I mean, on that subject, I mean, in terms of, so EGG is very much in the business of punting gaming communities. That's what we want to do. That's what we've always wanted to do. We always want to help grow those communities. We want to help things happen. We want to make stuff grow, right? So my question to you two is, in your position in Cape Town, in Somerset West, and I know, Ken, you frequent the Warren a lot, not just for D&D, but for your magic addiction as well.
Samesies.
I would apparently know the Goblin Chief wanted a pet goat. Oh, good grief. Okay. So I want to suggest that, Ty, if you're saying that there's an issue with getting new players into the game, I
actually had something to add to that.
Go for it.
From the people that were at Comic-Con, we've actually established one whole group that are now playing over Discord. And we are looking at growing that as well, getting into contact with some of the other people. I have everybody's emails, so I'm going to go do some stalking. Just get some more people going. I know a lot of people who were at Comic-Con are coming to some of the Exit events that are coming now as well. There are 2 events that's going to be in our area. I'm not sure about the rest. One at Sword and Board and one at the Warren, and we're both very excited for that.
Okay.
It's super, super cool.
Exit is cool.
Yes, it's awesome.
Exit is good fun. But hold on. We've got a lot of stuff happening in chat. Give me a second. So Foxglove Lass says, in the last session I hosted, the party spent most of the session having a drinking contest with a pixie. You see, you don't get to do this stuff anywhere else.
You can't undrink a pixie.
You know what I mean? Also, don't try and outdrink a pixie. That's just a bad idea. Although our ranger in our current group on Saturday afternoons live on stream, Merrick, may give the pixie a run for its money. But we also see...
We were watching.
Oh, yes, you were.
We were. During the pancake situation.
I like to introduce D&D to my friends by playing a very simplified version of 5th edition to get them more into roleplay. That's the whole point to D&D. D&D is 100% customizable. It doesn't have to be, these are the rules and this is how it goes. In fact, if you read the Dungeon Master's Guide to 5th edition, one of the opening lines, it says, these are guidelines. If you're not sure, make it up. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. So I agree. Foxglove says they actually won. And they got a cool potion out of it. Well, there you go. So I wanna suggest the following. Just go back to something. Our amazing partners, Unplug Yourself, are very keen to push D&D as much as possible because we know it's the world's greatest role-playing game. It's one of the coolest things to do with your friends, and it's an incredible way to spend an afternoon and build a community. So we as EGG get consignments of things to do things with that we think are in the interest of not only ourselves, but in the interest of our partners. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to say to you guys that if you're willing to be part of the EGG equation in Somerset West and push the D&D side, we will push our product to you and say that we'll put up prizes for you guys on, say, a bi-weekly basis or whatever, depending on the consignments we get. I can't promise you that we'll have something every week, but we get things like this, right? I mean, there it is. That's the Dungeon Master screen reincarnated. We get these. Okay? We're giving these 2 away tonight, all right? But what we can do is possibly, instead of giving them away on stream, we can send them to you guys. And then you put them up as prizes from EGG for your events down there to help build the community, to help get more people playing, to get people starting their own groups with their essentials kits, with their starter kits. That kind of thing.
That's perfect, actually, because I have been setting something up for a little while. I've been doing it for about a month and a half now, and Ken's actually just joined in for this. We're actually running 2 events on the same day with the exit thing. I've been building this for a while, and what I've basically done is I've been building this to actually hopefully do every like sort of couple of months or like every sort of 6 months is actually a DM workshop.
Cool.
I've got quite a few DMs involved in it, and I'm making a bit of an event. It's actually on the same time as Halloween, so going to be a bit of LARPing involved as well. And I wanted to try and I was actually talking about getting prize support, so what you just said is actually very helpful.
Do you want a copy of The Wild Beyond the Witchlight?
For me? Or
No,
for a
well,
prize?
to give away to your DM session.
Of course.
Okay, so then we'll pull that one. We'll pull that one from the Roll This Saturday thing, and we'll send it to you.
You mean like
No, that's the collector's edition. The collector's edition we'll give away on Roll This on a Saturday afternoon.
on behalf of our amazing partners.
But we do have we have a standard edition of A Wild Beyond the Witchlight that I would be more than happy to send to you to give as a prize for your DM workshop.
100%. And what the point of the workshop is, I try to get as many DMs as I could involved in it, not as in like not too many, but in terms of like guys who have of varying experience and ability. And the point of the workshop that I want to run it as is I want to have like almost like if it's like booths or tables type of situation, and it was going to be everything, and it's going to be everything from what is a DM, or like that, or sort of like the so you want to be a DM, all the way through to
So you
I've
wanna
been
be a
DMing
DM.
for a while.
Duh, 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 duh.
Yeah. No, the leather. No, that's that way. This is a different DM.
I just hear the Rocky trading music all of a sudden. Get those
and it's
dice.
all the way through to everything from like I'm an experienced DM. I've run a campaign, but I wondered how I had trouble with thinking on the fly, or I had trouble with encounters, or I had trouble with quests and things like that. So everything and in between that to try and get people involved in it, because I also think on the other side of it, I've met quite a few people and young kids actually as well that are running games, which is great. I mean, they basically just they bought like the starter kit and they opened the book and they just started running a game, which is great. And I'm really happy that guys are doing that. But at the same time, I have said to them, I've spoken to them a few times. I said, look, it is awesome. However, it will be helpful for you to also play a few games, or maybe come to a few games first, because if you've never played D&D before in your life and you go straight into being a DM, you're going to miss a lot of things. And I'm not saying you're not going to be able to do it. I think it's kind of fun. You're just making up everything, like literally
This is
everything
my game.
of that game will be made up.
What?
And I just love the concept of the chaos of that. But that's why I want to sort of do the DM workshop, and it's just timed so perfectly with Ken's exit thing happening as well.
Sure.
That we're going to run at the same time concurrently, and as a result of that, this is becoming a much bigger event now.
Yeah.
Because now there's two things happening at the same time, and if there's prize support, it's going to become even bigger. So it's quite exciting actually in that sense. At Halloween, it's going to hopefully be a very big and well-attended event.
Look, I mean, like I said, I mean, I can offer you the copy of The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, an original copy. I would love to give you more, but unfortunately, it's all been allocated to other stuff.
Of course, but I mean,
on our next
the fact that the
consignment,
offer's there is brilliant.
on our next consignment, there will be more. Maybe we'll even have something cool for you to do just before Christmas. Considering we have a new follower, Werewolf 7,800. I just pulled a Jay-Z, but that's okay. We're not going to say which Jay-Z that is. No, we're not. But just a quick note to those of you watching who are interested, and obviously this is something I shared with you guys a little bit earlier. There have been some delays at Wizards in terms of production, And so a couple of the things that we have been looking forward to, that we will be getting and that we might be able to share a little bit around in terms of prize support and getting the word out there and getting more people doing stuff, is Fizzban's Treasury of Dragons has unfortunately been delayed from the 26th of October to the 9th of November. And the Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos, has been delayed till the 7th of December. But that'll be here in time for Christmas. And I think that could be some
perfectly timed.
So this is no bad thing, it's one of those things. What we've got, okay.
Wizard is never late.
No, a wizard is never late.
He arrives exactly when he wants to.
Mortemart is also now following. Thank you, Mortemart. Foxglove says finding the time for planning is her biggest issue, and I can attest to that. I mean, it's a major problem that we have as well. And Zoe and Foxglove are just yelling at each other in chat. I think it's hysterical. They're probably. I'm wondering if they're sitting in the same room and typing hellos to each other.
I'm normally in that fight, so I miss them.
So,
I miss you guys.
So, I mean, just in terms of that, Ken, what is this thing that you're doing? What is going on? What is this exit thing, and what's happening down there in the Western Cape?
So, in the Western Cape, Exit is a very, very cool board game that's based on escape rooms. If anybody likes escape rooms, Exit should be and will be your thing.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've played it and I thoroughly loved it. I thought it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is that it's not your whole night.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours and it's done, but you've had all the fun in the world doing it.
It's a blast. It's like you're actually in an escape room.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. And they're available at LGSs all over the place at the moment. You can just go pick them up. They are one-shots. Keep that in mind. They're a one-shot because when you open it and you play with it, you have to cut up cards and cut pieces out and shift things and fold this and do that. So it's not like you can play it and then like give it to... Well, I suppose you could if you wanted to be a real prick. You could be like, hey, here, play this. Ha, ha, ha. But, yes, it's called
Escape
Exit.
this.
That's it. Leopardstone Exit is what it's called. Hold on. We Paint Mini says, I would like to focus on slightly older players, 30 plus years. Okay, 30 plus years. I think there's quite a few people that wish they got into D&D earlier. Let me know if you have some contacts in Somerset West. There we go. And then Foxglove says, oh no, I'm an older player now. Zoe says, escape rooms are great. I went to one for a birthday and spent the entire time being in awe and completely useless as my friends solved all the puzzles. I must say, when we played, there was the guy who does our maps for us and Roll This, Vaynant, was in the group that we played with, and he was very sharp, eh? He's hell of a sharp.
He's brilliant. Vaynant is brilliant.
Sharp guy. And we were like, half the time it was like, Vaynant, do this. So if I was ever in an escape room situation, I would want Vaynant there because he would get us out of it and we would all just sit back.
I want Vaynant on my team.
So
we'll have to rock, paper, scissors.
I'm not allowed to, no.
I'm just thinking about some of the things we chatted about tonight in terms of D&D. And I must be honest with you guys. I play Magic. I love board games. I have collections of, comics are my thing. I'm a nerd. I'm a total nerd. I'm a total geek, and I have been my whole life. But I have a very special place in my heart for D&D because D&D was a way to be me without worrying about what people would think. I mean, there was always the bulls at school where people were like, hey, you play D&D. But I also played football. And so it was like, how do we tease? Right? So I got kind of lucky. But it was also a way that I could turn around and say, you know what? I don't actually give a damn what you people think. I love D&D because D&D allows me to use what's up here and have fun doing it. I mean, I remember very clearly we had a game where I was DMing for two of my mates. It was way back in the day where it was like, we can just play with two people, it's fine. And these two guys had done a little dungeon together and they were on their way out. And I thought, let me throw a little curveball at them at the end. And on their way out, they had to go through this large cavern. And in this large cavern, lying asleep, curled up on a large pile of shiny treasure, was a huge red dragon. And the characters were a dwarf and an elf. And the dwarf was, they were fairly dack. I mean, at this point, if you think about it, back in the day, early days, sort of first, second edition D&D, they were about level 12, somewhere around there. So they were okay. They could handle themselves, you know what I mean? But, you know, when you miss that that first surprise attack on the sleeping dragon and wake it up, things go wrong. Which they did. And the dwarf ended up being a pile of ash in a helmet. And the elf ran away. So, you know, but these were the kinds of things that you could do for fun, you know, and it's what we do now. And I think as we get older, I think we appreciate the fact that we can do these things, that we're able to do these things. I can't remember who the American author was who said it, but there's an amazing quote that says, "We do not stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing." And I think that rings true for all of these communities that we're involved in. And I just want to say that in any way that we can help as EGG to push the growth of the D&D community, wherever it is, let us know. We'll do whatever we can. The same goes for Magic the Gathering. The same goes for board games. The same goes for Exit. The same goes for the fact that I think it's vital to mental health for people to play. Because in the world we live in right now, there ain't a whole hell of a lot of fun going on. And so we need to bring the fun. And I think that's our
100%.
jobs. As nerds and geeks, it's our jobs to bring the funs.
Huzzah!
Solidarity,
Huzzah!
brother. Solidarity. Okay, hold on. We got things happening. Apparently, Foxglove says that Zoe squeed herself into uselessness. Zoe says, played too many escape the room video games to not be super excited in real life. Leopardstone says, I wish I'd got into D&D earlier. It doesn't matter when you got into D&D.
You're never too old.
As long as you win.
Just get in. That's all you got to do. Zanigara is a first-time chat from a viewer. When is the giveaway? Well, we know why you're here.
Be subtle about it at
You
least.
know, gee whiz. Okay. Bigger Clausen says, Foxglove less. You get to tell old people jokes now. What else have we got going on here? We're a great comedy duo. Come to our show. Black Braid says, when is the show? I'll buy 2 tickets. Foxglove says, I gotta go call a pretty girl. Have a great evening.
Good luck.
Dear. Conscript says, hey folksies, what's happening? Conscript, great to see you. Roleplay also helps a lot with mental health. Yes, it does. Ratcatcher says, I wish I had time to play D&D. Boo. Ratcatcher, you do have time to play D&D, and you know why? Because we do it online, and you can do it with me, James. Don't pretend like you don't know how. I'm now shouting at you because I keep offering you the opportunity to come and play, and you keep saying, so this is me bitching at you, James. I know you. I know where you are. Okay, no, it says he in chat. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll do the first giveaway, and the first giveaway will be the DM screen, and the first person to tell me what Ken's favorite one-off adventure was that she played at the Comic-Con Africa, Comic-Con Cape Town event in chat is the winner. Go.
Dun, 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 dun,
And the crickets go.
dun, 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 dun.
The crickets go so long as they don't go caw.
Aha!
Okay, come on, people. It's an easy enough question. There we go. We Paint Minis. Tomb of Annihilation is correct.
Boom!
And we have a new follower in Malachi. Thank you for following. Conscript says, boo, I missed that. Yes, you came late. But then, so did we, because the internet.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Well, there's a second giveaway, so relax.
Mortimer says, finger pointing gets us nowheres, Steve.
Unless they think again.
There we go. Pew, pew. Black Parade says, I couldn't type fast enough. Okay, so We Paint Minis. If you could do me a favor in Twitch, if you could just whisper to me your contact telephone number so I can get hold of you. I said, please. Just stick it in there as a whisper and I will pick it up rot the nails, and then we will assign this to you.
I accidentally almost blurted it out when you posed the
You're not
question.
supposed. You can't answer. What's wrong
I was
with
like,
you? Here is the magical silver pen that puts the names of the winners upon the things.
And it gets its very own crispy signature. So.
Oh, I have to turn it the other way. So this goes to We Paint Minis and gets a signature thingy.
Mine had a smiley face.
Yours had a smiley face. This one gets a signature thingy. And put that down. Oh, some exciting news for Wednesday. Just by the way. I was going to say by the way, and so you know. But it came out as by you know. By you know the way. Anyway.
I way know by you.
On, off, broken, fix, stuff so rigged, says Conscript.
The orange cat sleeps in the moonlight.
Zenigara says, is Icons of the Realm worth it? Any thoughts? Let's check it out.
I mean, for me, with miniatures in general, generally with miniatures, it's I personally believe it's one of two things. Do you like collecting them, and or do you use them?
Ooh.
If you use miniatures a lot in your gameplay, in just general life, if you use them, I think they're worth it. If you collect them, I think it's worth it. But if it's just for normal sort of, it's a cool thing that you saw. It's up to you. It's for me, the worth comes with why are you getting them?
I would honestly, get them for the gargantuan dragon just because, oh my gosh, that looks cool. Holy bananas! That's wow.
And
but I think Ty is right.
There's Crispy's answer.
Let's not go with Crispy's answer. Let's go with.
Ty's trying to give you reasonable purchasing advice, and Crispy's being fangirl.
Listen to this guy over here. Listen. Okay, so we got something. We got what? I need a Zenigara. Absolutely take Ty's advice. Don't take mine. Mine is the magpie version. Don't listen to me. But apparently Zenigara needs a place to get some minis.
Where does she stay?
Yeah, Zenigara, whereabouts are you? Because if you're in the Cape area, there are a number of places you go. One of them is, I don't know if the Warren's got. I don't know the shop so well.
The Warren is massive on the miniatures. The Warren himself actually teaches miniature painting classes.
Oh, there you go. There's also Sword and Board.
Yes.
Which is a really cool shop in Cape Town itself. And a couple of other stores. I think there's a Luck Shack or two, but I'm not sure if Luck Shacks are more magic oriented. Somerset West, says Zanigara. So the Warren is the place to go.
100% the Warren, yeah.
First time chat from viewer Twitch 16. I am here. This is good. I'm glad you are here. Makes me happy. Malachi, first time chat from viewer. For me, most of the fun is customizing, so I took it a step further and started 3D printing them. You're making your own minis?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, Twitch 16 says, subtie, it's Dustin.
How's it?
There we go. Werewolf 7800 says, Beifong, we need to get some Iron Sworn in sometime.
By the way.
Yes, I figured.
That's my big brother.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm just having a check. There we go. Try
Look at us getting personal shout-outs.
Personal shout-outs. Okay, we got a whisper here. That's cool. Hold on a second. Love, please post my notebook. I can't reach. My arms are not that long. I cannot transmogrify right now. Okay, so now I have to write things down. And this is where it gets really interesting for Crispy, because Crispy must write things down without saying them out loud.
Mute.
Motomort says, Ty didn't say hi to me, sad face.
I did too! You didn't say hi to me first, ha!
Okay, I'm the one who does the finger pointing around here, okay?
Okay, ha! We have 4 fingers versus your 2. You will lose this battle, Crispy.
The end screen goes to... Okay, and the number is... Everybody listening?
Yes. Can we get address, number, PO box? Can we just get all of that information, please? Just say it out loud to us so we can just clip it.
Okay, the number is.
Don't joke with the connection issues we had. We won't know if it's real or not.
You're right. I can pull one of these.
No,
Don't do it. You're scaring me.
you're real.
There's a spider in your beard.
Jeez, I almost ran out of breath. Bigger Clausen says Crispin has the hammer. Careful now. Try the Warren or Pandemonium games. Madness 3D in Durbanville can also print you some Zanigara. So there you go. Look at that. So many helpful people in this particular chat this evening. That's fantastic.
I can honestly attest to the 3D printing thing. I had a friend back in East London who
Just one.
for a non-reason had them a lot. Had like 4 3D printers, and he used to print figurines for me. It's really, really helpful.
Only one friend in East London.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. Look at these people. Crispin has the hammer. Which hammer? The band hammer. Oh my god.
Bam!
Bam! Bam!
Still want to make that character.
That's right. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Yoli's gonna buy me one of those like inflatable Mjolnirs.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here going, God. You know, it's gonna be one of those things, I guess. But anyway. So the other thing we're giving away tonight is the Essentials Kit. Now the Essentials Kit is very cool, and it's very different from the Starter Kit, which I want to stress quite a bit. Because hey, hand it over, woman. Don't run out the office. Give me the box. Hey. Rob will talk about rigged stuff again. Give me the box.
You need a new assistant.
She's like, the things I go through, you guys don't understand. The Colossus hammer, see, I'll take that. Stormbreaker,
Oh.
I'll get. No, but Stormbreaker's not a hammer. Stormbreaker's like an
Make
axe.
an axe.
Yeah, it's a very cool.
Both.
No, you take the little one. I'll have the big one. So in the set, you get a 64-page rulebook that teaches you how to create characters at level 1 to 6 and play the game. This is in the Essentials Kit. You get Dragons of Ice Spire Peak as an introductory adventure, which I have played a bit and we enjoyed it quite a lot.
Very nice DM screen in there.
You get a very nice DM screen, a double-sided poster map, 6 blank character sheets, 11 polyhedral dice, and 81 cards describing magic items, sidekicks, and more. Includes codes to continue your D&D journey on D&D Beyond, which I must tell you is a fantastic resource online, which is the official digital tool set for Dungeons & Dragons. Unique discount code for 50% off the digital version of the Player's Handbook. Product key to unlock a digital version of the Dragon of Icespire Peak adventure, and access to supplementary content for Dragon of Icespire Peak. So this is a really cool box, and it comes with some really cool stuff, and Beta Ray Bill is so cool. Now we're suddenly on comics. We're all so weird. I love it. But we'll give this away in a minute, and someone can have it and play games. And you don't take the box. Sheesh.
Hammer.
Got a new follower of Twitch 16 XXVR is here. So the Ty that died when I joined. I'm confused. Lipperstone says, I want it. Zenigora says, hi, Ty.
Hi. Hello.
Motomot says, the one with the bow. Harki. D&D Beyond. Harki. Yes, okay.
A warning to all people new to D&D: you need to understand, especially if you become a DM or just a normal player. There's a warning that I feel like everybody in this chat that knows what they're talking about, and everyone on the stream, it's a sad warning. You will become a dice dragon hoarder. You will. It's inevitable. Everyone thinks they won't. You will end up in a year, 2 year, 3 years with like 9-10 sets of dice that you don't use, but you walked to a shop and went, ooh, pretty dice, and then bought the dice. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's
Also,
just, you have no choice.
The other side of this is that wizards do this to us on purpose. So, for instance, if you like Magic the Gathering and you went and bought yourself a bundle box of the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms Magic the Gathering cards. The spin down life counter inside that bundle box is not a spin down life counter. It's an oversized randomized D20. And it's very pretty, and I think we might be using it very soon.
Yeah.
Mine's glow in the dark.
No, that's from the other one. That's from.
Yeah, she has it. I'm very jealous of that one. It's not fair.
See,
I'm very upset.
Sorry, can I just go back to the I'd buy it for the gargantuan dragon? We're all bloody magpies. Okay, so don't nobody even like contest what's going on here.
I used to buy boxes just for the dice.
There you go.
I used to buy magic boxes just for the dice.
We got a first time chat from viewer Shadows Assassin says Raven.
How's it?
Also, I think Conscript knows you from East London days. Because Conscript
does.
is Rob Wild, and he says, what did he say back here? He said, where's Ty from? East London? And then goes down to say, Motomot says, yeah, he is, or at least before Cape Town. And then it goes further down to say, that's why he said, so the one who died before he left.
Yep. They killed me. They killed me off.
And we have We Paint Minis saying, warning, because you guys are giving out warnings, don't split the party.
They never learn.
Rule
No, they
number
never
one,
do.
and they never learn.
I must tell you, our group got very lucky this past Saturday because they did split the party. They had to split the party for a number of reasons. First of all, two of the party were so hungover they couldn't find their feet, which probably would have been very bad in a battle. But they had to go do things, and so that had to happen. But generally speaking, do not split the party.
I had people decide to split a 4-man party in Call of Cthulhu completely, not even 2 and 2, as in 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, it didn't go well.
It's a Scooby-Doo adventure.
Didn't go
This
well
one.
at all.
So let's all split up and go looking for things in the wrong rooms. Oh, what fun we'll have.
That's exactly what happened. That's precisely what happened.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just one of those things. Okay, so I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be like way fair in terms of how we give away this Essentials kit. And if you are a follower, I will... I can't do that.
No chatbot.
No chatbot.
No.
Oh no.
Can't make a raffle.
We got to make it a quizzy quiz again.
We're going to have to make it
like
a
you
quizzy
did before.
quiz. Okay, we'll have to make it a quizzy quiz. Let's think of a quizzy quiz. In fact, I tell you what, Ty,
Yes. I'll roll a d20.
let me know when you've got a question for chat.
Okay.
When you've got a
Who's the handsomest of them all on stream?
Oh, that's me. I mean,
like...
it's the beard.
Excuse me, Chris.
It's the beard.
Ooh. I don't need to be it. Haha.
So in terms of... okay, let's just go through some other stuff while we're waiting for Ty to come up with a question for chat. Okay? Shadows Assassin says, well, you, obviously. Referring to Ty.
Yeah!
Yes, ask away. What is your favorite color?
My followers are coming out in droves here, Chris.
Yeah, it looks that way. So what we'll do is, while Ty is coming up with a question to ask for the giveaway of the Essentials kit, let's just talk through the schedule for the next week real quick here on EGG. So on Wednesday night, we're on Command This. We are doing some very silly shenanigans in our Commander pod this week, where people have allowed me to play my really stupid Kalia deck that Ken had first-hand experience of in Cape Town on Saturday night. So that should be good fun for me if it comes off. Not for anybody else if it comes off, but if it comes off, then great. We also have a special guest on the show that night. Vickers Berger from Bloemfontein and the Commander Royalty will be joining us for that particular game, so that should be lots of fun.
Yes.
And then on Saturday afternoon, we've been building up for a little while in our Roll This Adventures live on stream, getting the characters to a particular point in the storyline and in the adventure to where things are going to happen. And I did warn them, as I'm putting this out there to everybody else, this Saturday, things go nuts. So if you want some stuff to be happening and check out a really cool, probably a little bit of a longer session, we'll probably go for about 3 hours because there's a lot that needs to happen. You should come check out Roll This on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. All of these shows stream live right here on twitch.tv/Easy Gaming Group. And all of them are helped out in numerous ways by our amazing partners, Unplug Yourself, who have also supplied us with our Roll20 Pro subscription for the year, which allows us to get all the cool stuffs from Roll20. And that kind of thing. So check them out at www.unplugyourself.co today for all your tabletop gaming news. They've got everything you want to know. Rob says, fight. Run Rabbit says, yes, but not if you're going to get us all dead. Okay, so don't forget to check that out. So Wednesday night, 8 p.m. right here, twitch.tv/Easy Gaming Group. Command this. Kalia comes through with our special guest, Vickers Berger. And then on Saturday, we're back at 4 p.m. in the afternoon for Roll This, our D&D session. We also, by the way, will be at Sad Robot again on Saturday morning for their premium celebration. This time we'll be playing some Pioneer, I think, and we'll be there streaming that until about lunchtime, so we'll probably get the first 4 rounds of that in. Unfortunately, we never get to stay long enough to show the finals and stuff, but they have that stuff up on their Facebook page, etc. afterwards. But Conscript says, I'm gonna save us all. So that's what's happening this week. Command this, Sad Robots, Roll This, because we're original in the way we name our content. Ty, you got a question that's going to win somebody an Essentials kit?
Yes.
Or Dries, do you have a question?
At this point, it's going to be probably. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's either going to be who Googles the fastest or who knows off the top of their head.
Alrighty. So first correct answer in chat to the question Ty's about to ask you wins an Essentials kit.
Simple question to everybody. Okay. What year was the first ed of Dungeons and Dragons published?
Black Parade says 1974.
Damn! Yo! Jeez, like it.
I'm assuming that is the correct answer to your question.
Yeah, it is. My word, that is quick.
There you go. Ratcatcher was close. Ratcatcher came in at 1972. Bigger Class in 1983. And no, you cannot win any more stuff, dude. Seriously. Bigger Class, and you are the luckiest man I know. Because you win everything.
Just the whole thing.
Rigged.
Yeah. I mean, that would
rigged.
Hashtag rigged. Congratulations, Black Parade. You are the winner. So if you could
that was
also,
quick. That was just ridiculously quick.
Whisper to me in the Twitch chat your contact details so we can get hold of you. Just a phone number is fine for now. We'll get hold of you and send you your prize. That's totally cool. So we're going to put this on here as the Black Parade 95.
95.
There we go. I'm getting all kinds of messages. Boom. There we go. Well done. Wow, that was a really fastest finger first. That. Gee whiz.
That's what I said. So either whoever knows it or who can Google the fastest.
Some Google there.
Hold on. Rob, I see your message. I will try and sort it out. I think it has something to do with our level as a streamer, but I will look into it and see if we can sort that out for you, my friend.
We'll fix it.
What's that?
So we'll fix it, whatever it is.
We'll do our damnedest to fix it. If we can't, we'll find someone who will. And if they won't, then we'll break them until somebody else does.
And you wonder why your party is full of murder hobos.
I don't know what you're talking about. Black Parade 95 says, I'm in love with a nerd guy. Well, that makes sense. I mean, you're here.
I know, I mean...
You know.
We get it.
Leopardstone says, I knew it. Werewolf says, gotta go because my phone's about to die. Peace out.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, he meant published dates. He didn't say published. He said the words published. Bigger Clausen says, I have fat fingers, not fast ones. Okay, but Black Parade.
To each their own.
Black Parade.
That's that numpad speed.
You need to drop me a whisper or something to let me know who you is and how we get hold of you. Just in Twitch, just whisper to me, whisper to me. You know, Wait, I'm supposed to do that, aren't I? I'm supposed to be doing... I was told in our feedback that I need to do more of my sexy voice. Is this my sexy voice? I don't know.
This is not an ASMR stream, Crispy.
I don't know. I'm not going to go accents because then we're just going to get stupidly silly.
Zanzibar
Anyway...
gets stuck.
What?
Zanzibar gets stuck.
Zanzibar gets stuck.
Zanzibar
That's
gets
right,
stuck in
because
the accent.
I had Wilhalt the Rotklever.
on the stream.
I had Wilhalt the Rotklever last week, who became a German Frenchman at some point,
Oh!
and then
You
became
want to
Russian.
talk about your commanders trying to hit field experience there, Ken?
And we had,
Wait, what?
I said, do you want to talk about your commanders trying to hit play?
Twitch 16 says when the DM starts flexing all their voices, big smile.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. I've decided that everyone left in my campaign is Russian, so they will talk like this until the end of everything, and everyone is dead.
My favorite from the roll this stream is the Cockney Goblins.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Hey, goblins! It wasn't me. It wasn't me, Gada. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was Boogles.
goodness.
Boogles did it. Take it from him. He's got it. He's got it. Run away. Run away.
One way.
And when the DM goes quiet, it's worse. Yes, generally, this is what happens when Rob leads the fight, you see. Rob says, I'm going to do this, and then I go quiet. And everyone should know that at that point, Rob has up.
There's one thing that's more joyful than your DM going quiet is just while people are talking, just hearing dice being rolled behind the screen. For no reason. Just hearing dice being rolled for whatever we're rolling it for. That is the true... Oh, Ken, you got a visitor. Hi.
I'm sorry, that's hysterical if you time it with what Leopardstone just said in chat. He says, laugh my ass off. Ken playing unnatural growth on her cat broke her connection.
It did though.
Kitty, says Shadows Assassin. I still haven't got a whisper from Black Parade 95. Conscript says, what? This is not true. The mystery dice roll is terrifying. I sometimes do it just for fun.
Oh yeah, too. No, I often sometimes roll lots of dice to make lots of noise just to terrify a
Just
player.
for nothing, you know.
Hell, of course.
Because otherwise the players get far too complacent. So you just roll stuff. You know, when I look...
I just like saying...
I would do
sometimes
where
I
you
like
do one of
listening
these.
to players.
Sort of like where you do one of these. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yes, continue.
I enjoy listening. I sometimes enjoy listening to players like strategize a whole bunch of stuff, and I realize they're not thinking, and then I just let them go for like 5 minutes, and they go, "Okay, we're doing this," and I go, "Okay, no."
No, that doesn't happen. That's awesome. Well done. No.
Good idea. No.
Okay, cool. Black Parade says, "Well,
Working
WhatsApp me
together.
later." Fantastic. Okay. It was Asmore. He did it. See, now we're talking finger pointing. And Ratcatcher, if you're still there, buddy, the invitation is still open because I must tell you guys don't understand. James we played D&D together when we were at varsity and beyond. But I have never had as much fun playing D&D with somebody as it is to play with James. Because, and Yola will attest to this, James becomes so engrossed in his character that everything he does is just totally character. And I remember he used to have this back then it was a thief. We didn't have rogues, but he was a thief. But he was a total and utter thief. So when there was a battle and there was a fight going on, everybody would be like, yeah, right, charge! And James was just, gone. Where's James? No, we don't know where James is. James is vanished. Where's the thief? Who cares? He'd come back after the battle with like, oh, I found all this gold and it was back there. You guys okay? You all alright? Okay. Oh, also, there was like a big goblin chiefy dude who was like yelling orders and stuff. I just stabbed him in the back of the neck. He's dead. Don't worry about him. This is the kind of guy he is. And so I have been desperate to get James back into playing D&D simply because of the level of gameplay he brings. He's just totally immersed in everything he does. And that I think is another one of the joys of D&D is meeting people who have the ability to live vicariously through their characters and to do these crazy things. And I mean, our tiefling set someone on fire on Saturday simply because they made a joke she didn't like.
And and you wonder why you have a party of murder hobos.
You know? Anyway, I want to just say again, I want to reiterate our commitment to building the gaming community. It's what we're about. And so if we can do, like I said, whatever we can do to help you guys out down there in the Cape. Ken, we need to have a chat about some other stuff as well, but we'll do that offline and off air and off those other things. But I just want to say that it was an amazing experience, the Cape Town experience, to see the level of enthusiasm there is for the game in the mother city. It was mind blowing for me. I really didn't expect it. And I just want to say, I think a lot of the enjoyment that came out of that was because of you two and Mark. You guys brought something to that day that people really loved. And so to you as DMs, kudos, because you obviously did a really good job. And the fact that you have managed to network as much as you have in terms of the community off of that is testament to how good a job you guys did. So from my side to you, congratulations and well done. And if we can help in any way, just let us know. Well, I say we, like there's like a royal we. You know, if EGG can help, let EGG know. You know.
Yes, EGG.
Yeah, they were only slightly singed. No, they weren't only slightly singed. It was a regular, normal human being. Their hit points are quite low. But anyway.
You set someone
we
on fire.
are not murder hobos. We are professional. Spelt Prifessinul.
Is he still drunk, I assume?
Anyway, and Ratcatcher says, haha, thanks, Crispiwan. Those were the best campaigns. Yes, they were. But again, those were good times. And this is what D&D's about, is having those memories and doing these things and having fun. It's amazing stimuli for you as a person to do these things because it keeps your brain going and it keps you keeps you moving.
The reason I'm also trying to I really want us to push it so hard this side is because of the fact that there's things like, for example, like Stranger Things. Okay, but I was actually on KFM last week, and I was chatting on the afternoon show, and one of the questions I got asked on there was, because I was talking about Comic-Con, and one of the questions I got asked was, do you want to explain to people what D&D is? And the first thing that popped in my mind was the most popular series that pretty much everyone's watched is Stranger Things. So I said, it's the game that the kids are playing in Stranger Things in the beginning. That's what D&D is. And I'm noticing a lot more in pop culture series and things like that, D&D coming out. And I feel like it's piquing a lot of interest in people. But as I said, it boils back down to the primary issue of there's nowhere for people to just try D&D out. And that's what myself personally, and I've been chatting to Ken a lot about this as well, we want to try and get a Cape Town community of DMs in the respective areas that can provide this kind of environment for people, where have a weekend one shot. You can just walk in, there's dice provided for you, there's character sheets provided for you, everything's provided for you. Yes. Oh, yeah, is that part of the giveaway?
No.
You said you'd provide us with help. I want that.
So just in terms
of... I'll have to pry it off my dead body.
That can be arranged.
Murder hobo. Murder hobo.
Oh, my word. Okay, so...
You pyro tiefling? Jeez, like it.
Yes, careful now. Careful.
That wasn't a joke. That was an insult. I think she'd appreciate that more than a joke, apparently.
Yeah, just be careful. You got to watch out. Tiefling's temperamental. It's, apparently
because it's so short. That's why.
You know, anyway, so in terms of trying D&D, I would encourage each and every one of you out there watching the show to tell your friends, tell their friends that you play D&D. It's not something that's taboo anymore. It's not back like when, and again, giving away my immense age. Hello, Poochie.
Oh my gosh.
When we were playing, Hugh Long says there's loads of groups and places. Absolutely there are. But the community doesn't know about these things. There isn't like a central point where you can sort of get together and say, right, this is who's playing where. So I think that's an important thing to try and get hold
Yes.
of. But back when we were growing up and we started playing, there was the whole, it's satanic, evil.
Or it was nerdy.
You know,
or it was like a nerd games.
Or it was nerd. You know, that whole thing. But that's not there anymore. Why? Because geeks rule the world.
Yeah, I mean, how many celebrities now? I mean, how many celebrities play D&D?
Yeah, loads.
It's great, and I love that fact. Like I said, I feel like there's so much interest in it. There really
Jack
is.
Black, and that's the only one we need. Jack Black.
Yes. So, I mean, Terry Crews plays it, man.
Of course.
Black.
Absolutely.
Jack Black is just amazing in everything. That's not even like Jack Black's just, it's Jack Black. Can we just not?
I want to see Terry Crews, and he's going to have to roll D20 to have the peck bounce thing going on. And Jeff Goldblum, yes, Jeff Goldblum is a D&D.
Oh, of course.
So, I mean...
No, the thing is, like, one of the things that, I showed this to Ken as well, I think a lot of things what I try and provide with the one-shots that I run, I often make character packets for my players. And it has a character sheet, it has a breakdown of their skills and that, plus, like, basic information of what D&D is and all that. I try and provide dice, try and provide everything, so that there is literally no need for you to do anything besides pitch up and go, let me play my first game.
For sure.
They don't have to worry about creating characters and all this sort of stuff.
So on that note, I'd also just like to punt some new friends of ours that we made recently. And I'd like to punt the Mag of Holding. So the Mag of Holding is a joint venture between a bunch of Sapphires and some people in Ireland, and they've come together and they've created a quarterly magazine called the Mag of Holding, and all it is supplementary D&D stuff. So it's new creatures, it's one-shots, it's maps, it's all kinds of things that you can either use in your campaign that you're running, or as part of something else, or it's something that you can do totally on your own. So it's just an amazing resource. You can find them on Kickstarter, and they've just released their 3rd edition, which I must tell you is something that I think all of you would love. It's gothic horror.
Oh, yes.
So it's going to have some really cool goodies in it. Go check them out on Kickstarter. It's called the Mag of Holding. You should definitely go have a look at that if you're into that kind of thing. Hugh Long says, so there's a group called Misadventurers Guild that offers games under a number of DMs with all different style of TTRPGs. So that's very cool to know. Thanks for that.
Brilliant.
Check that out, Misadventurers Guild. The Big Show also plays, says Lioness of the Vale.
Big Show.
The Big
Show, yes.
Cool.
And Satanic, what do you mean my Shadowfell Warlock is evil? Okay. Oh, there you go. Twitch16 says, Ty, I will DM you, but once the store is up and running, you are more than welcome to hold sessions in the DW area. So there you go. There's
brilliant.
But we are going to have to wrap this up now because we're running long for this evening, which I kind of figured was going to happen. Yes, at Easy Gaming Group. 26. Oh, 26. What have I been saying? 25. 16. I've been saying 16. I do apologize. Hey, no one said I could math. We all know my magic downfall is 2 CMC or less. So let's not talk about what I add. So let's not.
That's why you constantly board wipe, just to make it easier for you in terms of counting.
Hugh Long also says, if you're looking for an easy way to get in contact with loads of people, look at Zaga on Facebook. That's the ZA Gaming Alliance.
I'm part of Zaga.
So am I, and I've seen many people asking about D&D. So Twitch,
the 26. Thing is, I would love to do that, but the reason I haven't just gone and reached out to people is because I want to have, like something I've been chatting to Ken about, is I want to have a couple of, even if they're small, very, very small pods of established sort of areas in Cape Town at least, so that once I reach out, I can say, okay, well, where are you based? Well, you can contact X, Y, and Z. Because the thing is, to go out and contact people now is going to be great, and we can get 100 contacts, but then it's just 100 contacts, and there's no sort of region. So it's something I am going to do and I want to do, but I want to get sort of the areas at least established, or get some people in those areas that are willing to, run the scene, or at least be a bit sort of in charge, that I can go, okay, listen, guys, these are the people, chat to them, and then we can grow from there. So it's not that I haven't done or don't want to. It's just that I don't want to do it yet. That's all.
Sounds like a plan. But on that note, we are now going to wrap this up. And we're quickly going to say a huge thank you to the both of you for coming through tonight and chatting to us about this crazy role-playing game that we all love so much. A huge thank you to the madness of chat for always being fun and engaging and enjoying the stuff that we do. And we love making content for you guys. And so the more you support us, the more we can do. If you really want to support us, go check us out on Patreon. We're at patreon.com/easygaminggroup. For a small nominal fee, you can become an Eggie. And then once you are an Eggie, you get yourself into the draw for, at the moment, what is 4,000 rands worth of Magic the Gathering goodies every 3 months, which is not bad.
It's exciting.
For your membership fee. On what might be happening, depending on how our viewer base begins to shift, is we may be including some D&D content in that grand prize as well. So, okay, now I'm gonna start calling you Twitch 16 again, because don't Yu-Gi-Oh in my chat, bro.
How dare you, sir?
Yay for D&D. I had to.
There's no place for such horrible words and language.
Where's that banhammer?
Look at her.
Where's my banhammer?
Look at poor Ken's about to be sick. How dare you, sir?
She's like, you're banned for life and ever.
No explanation, just banned.
Just done. Finished. You've had it. You're over. But anyway, that's okay. So that's that. So chuckle from the gallery over here. My good. No, conscript. I can't do anything to him. He's a patron. Damn it.
Patron privileges.
Anyway, so on that note of oh, look, it's a kitty.
Well, we've had both of your pets pop up, so I feel like it's only fair that we have the third of the group end the stream here.
There we go. And on that furry note, we will end the stream and say good night to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for making this a hugely fun stream. Catch us on Wednesday for Command This, on Saturday for Roll This, and Saturday morning at Sad Robot for the Pioneer event of the Premium Celebration. Sad Robot having recently received premium status on the Wizards Play Network. Only the second store in the country to receive premium. So it's celebrating that with some events. And then the last thing I want to say is, if you like what you see and you want more of it, check us out on Patreon. It's not as expensive as you think. And it really does help us out. And like I say, every 3 months we do a draw. And if you've been a subscriber for 3 months, you get 3 tickets into that draw for 4,000 rands worth of goodies from our amazing partners. Unplug yourself. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you all have a fantastic evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. Ty, say good night.
Good night.
Kate, say good night.
Good night.
Crispy, say good night.
Good
night. Okay, was that creepy? Stay safe, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.